welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Trevor, and I am here to help you see your blind spots and take your life from ordinary to extraordinary. Let's dive in. Today, what we're going to talk about is how to know whether you are making progress in improving yourself, your life, your relationships, however you want to think of it. Sometimes it seems like we're doing all this work, reading books, journaling, working on ourselves, and doing meditation. Is it working? Is any of it working? How would I know if it were working? Well, I'll tell you a story about me that happened last weekend. And, as always, listen to this about you, not about me. Listen about you, not about me. Here we go. A couple weeks ago, I'm in a Lyft. And my Lyft driver is talking about how he used to be a Christian missionary, and he's talking about how he was interviewing for a job at Apple, and when they asked him what motivates him to do a job, and when they asked him what motivates him to do a good job, I'm not even going to edit that part out. We're just going to leave that in here, okay? I make mistakes. I'm human, but I'm also Superman. So this guy's talking about being a Christian missionary, and he's talking about this job they interviewed for at Apple. And when they asked him what motivates him to do a good job, he said, God. That's it. That's why I do a good job. Do it for God. Do it for the glory of God. And he told me he knew that was not going to be a popular answer, but he had to remain authentic and in integrity, which I love and respect. And it turns out it wasn't the answer to get him the job. He didn't get that job. And that's perfectly okay. That's not the point of the story. The point of the story is this. Me, at some point in the past, listening to that story. So don't listen about me, listen about you. This guy happened to be a Christian missionary talking about he's in a job interview saying he does a good job because of God. Maybe you're listening, you're like, yeah, totally, that resonates with me, and I would have said the same thing. Or maybe you're like, I don't know about that view. Maybe you think about anyone else in your life or in the world who might have a different viewpoint from you, and you might just hear something like that and think to yourself, that person's weird, they're this, they're that, whatever. There's some sort of judgment coming out of you. Maybe you have an idea for them about how they should change and be living their life. So that's what I certainly would have come up for me back in the day. So we're talking about progress. How do we know we're making progress on our personal and spiritual development path? How is life getting better? Well, when you find yourself less triggered, less negative emotion states, more able to connect with and communicate with people and realize that we are all much more alike than we are different, that, my friends, is a great way to know you are making progress. When you can relate to other people better. We are social animals. The ability, the improvement to your life when you're able to relate to situations and people better and better, everything in your life gets better. So instead of me sitting in the back of this Lyft being like kind of uncomfy that he's even talking about God, because I grew up Christian, Catholic, went away from it, at one point staunchly atheist, then I found meditation, then I got spiritual, and now I'm in this place where it's like, I don't subscribe to a certain religion, but I have, in the depths of a 10-day silent meditation retreat, I have lived through what they describe in these spiritual texts as feeling God, the Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it. I've been there. So now I'm like, oh, okay, so all you people are saying the same thing and you're just putting different icing on the cake and then fighting about the cake. Again, not the point of the story. The point of the story is simply that I know that I'm making progress because I would have been, if we want to say triggered, whatever, bothered by his answer in this conversation, and I would have been like, just kind of not really knowing what to say in the back. Instead, I found a way to connect and relate to him. So I first acknowledged him for being in integrity, sticking with that answer, even though he knew it wasn't a popular one, and he didn't end up getting that job. And I asked him something about his religion and said, do you see yourself as separate from God and like you're trying to please God or do a good job for God, or is your understanding, your experience of your religion more one of feeling this oneness with God, that God is in you, God made you in his image, his or her image, whatever. Again, this isn't about Christianity, this isn't about God, this isn't about anything. This is about relating to people, this is about ideas that may have previously made you uncomfortable, and now you're able to relate to them, see things differently, relate to people, connect with them better, more deeply. So I asked him that question. And I can see him kind of light up. Like he's pleased that I engaged and that I gave him an opportunity to further elaborate on what his religion and God means to him. And he said it was very much the latter. He is saying, yeah, no, God is in me. I am God. Not in some megalomaniacal sense, but God makes you in his image, whatever. That was basically his answer. And I said, wow, that's really great. That's really cool. And I have a similar feeling in terms of something else you want to call it. People call it source energy, the universe, whatever it is. I very much have this feeling that I am connected to something greater than myself. And I have experienced that. And there's no way to tell someone about this. I remember watching this YouTube video. I used to be obsessed with like being atheist and like take a lot of pride in it. Like I read Richard Dawkins' book, The God Delusion, or like listened on tape like 20 times. I'd watch YouTube videos about debates between creationists and evolutionary biologists and religious people, not religious people. I was like all into it, okay? And I remember watching this video where this Irish guy gets up to ask Richard Dawkins a question and says, what would you say to somebody who has felt God, felt the Holy Spirit? Like, you're talking about all this stuff in your book, but I am telling you, like, I have experienced God. And Richard Dawkins was just like, oh, people are prone to imagination, whatever. It's nothing more than that. Next, dismissed. Next question. And the guy gets back up there, a few people later, something like that. He's like, I'm being allowed by my friend to come back and ask my question again because you still haven't answered it. By the way, my grandfather's Irish, so it's okay for me to do an Irish accent. I just want to be clear about that. And the guy's like, you're not answering the question of, I felt God, I felt the Holy Spirit, I felt him inside of me. And so anything you write about in this book, you don't know what you're talking about. And what would you say to someone, to me, standing before you, telling you, I felt God, I felt his presence, I felt the Holy Spirit. And again, Richard Dawkins just like, hey buddy, you're crazy. I got nothing for you. Get out of here. I watched that now, and I watched it at the time like, yeah, get him, Richard, that guy's an idiot. What, felt God, felt the Holy Spirit? What the hell does that mean? Well, friends, again, on this deep in this silent meditation retreat, I felt what he was talking about. If I had gone there with a Christian bent or Muslim, Jew, whatever, I would have come out of there 1 billion% into whatever religion I came in there with, based on the experiences that I had. Some real mystical, cool, crazy stuff. And we'll talk more about that in another video. But for me, it just took me from being atheist to being like, no, there's a there. This is there are things that are outside of my normal thinking brain and this world and society and culture that we're all in that are more deeply mysterious and interesting, I think. So all this to say, how do you know when you're making progress? A big way is the absence of previously negative emotions or things that would trigger you. Because this personal spiritual development, life improvement, it's not just about tacking on new skills and feeling happier and happier and things getting better and raising the ceiling. So much of it, I would say more of it, is about seeing where you've raised the floor. This is the floor. Imagine, whoop, it's been raised. Instead of me being triggered by something someone says, or angry, or whatever, annoyed, whatever you want to pick, now that floor is gone up. I don't experience, or I very rarely, very few far and in between, and for milliseconds, moments, do I experience like really negative states of being like I used to. And I'm not perfect, and I fall and stuff. I get mad about, yes, of course, all that, yes. I get pissed and all this. I experience the whole range of human emotions, but I will tell you that I most certainly, all the negative ones, if you can imagine that you get to, you're the character in the video game of your own life, imagine turning down the dials on all of the negative things that you can experience and feel in your life. I mean, everything from anger, sadness, guilt, shame, jealousy, annoyance, impatience, whatever it is, anything that makes you not feel good, imagine you just have less of that, few, far between, and those states of being last shorter and shorter times, and you get more of feeling more love, gratitude, peace, joy, freedom, fun, happiness, laughing all out, not caring how stupid your laugh sounds, all of those things. And I think that's it. I think we are complete. So if you liked this video, then like it. And if you want to talk more about these ideas, learn more about what I've done, what I do with my clients, then send me an email to trevorhanloncoaching@gmail.com. That's how you reach me. That's how you get in touch with me. And we can have a chat. I've got 2 client spots open right now. Other ones are full. I have a full-time job that I love, so I just do this on the side, so don't really have a lot of time to coach a lot of people, but that's what I got available. I do have 2 slots available right now, and if anything I talk about in this video, any of my prior videos, we're gonna go back and watch that stuff. Who am I? Who is this guy? What's he on about? Go find out, and let me know in the comments where you have seen some of these changes in your life. If you've worked on yourself, worked on your life, and noticed the absence of the negative stuff, not just about, oh, I feel happier and I feel great all the time. Okay, yeah, there's some of that, there's something to that, but also, wow, I go to Thanksgiving dinner and I'm not triggered by my family, and I can see other people with love who I used to look at with judgment. That stuff is really magical. So, I love you all, and I'll see you next time for another video. Bye.